What is one of your favorite Halloween costumes you've ever worn?
I was a unicorn last year, and that was one. And I was in London, and that was one of my favorite costumes.
One time I was a Planters peanut, like the peanut. I had my grandma made this little literal peanut costume.
My friend and I, a couple years ago, we were cotton candy, and we made our own costumes, and everyone really loved our costume.
My costume was half asleep, half awake. So we took pajamas, my mom and I, and we cut them in half, and then we took a normal outfit and cut it in half, and then we sewed it together. And then I put curlers in my hair on the pajama side, and then did my hair normally on the other side, and I was half asleep, half awake.
Last year I wore a onesie, I wore a kangaroo onesie, and it was really warm, so it was nice to have kind of this blanket around me the whole time. That was probably my favorite.
I dressed up as Super Glover one time with my friend, yeah, and she wore a Big Bird costume. It was in grade 7.
I was 9 months old and I was a giraffe, so I was this tall and I was a little giraffe walking around my neighborhood.
Probably last year I was a Jedi Knight. I was so happy with that. It was an accomplishment.
I did say last year I was Harry Potter. That was really cool. I wore this little girl dress and I curled my hair and put in a big bow, and then I splattered fake blood on me and put in red eye contacts all night.
When I was really young, I dressed up as Tin Man from Wizard of Oz because I really, really liked that movie.
I was a shark with legs sticking out the mouth. So I put my arms through the legs and I put sneakers on my hands and my trick-or-treating bag right here. So it's a person kicking.
I was in second grade, or first or second grade. I was obsessed with Spider-Man. So I wore the costume for 2 or 3 days straight. Definitely a problem, but that was my favorite costume of all time.
One time I was a Wii remote. We made the costume ourselves, and there were these little ledges here I could stuff candy in. I was a human size. It was awesome.
Once I was a juice box. That was fun.
Yeah.
You got big bags from the dollar store and then covered them in stuff, got little straws. It was great.
Last year I was Penny Lane from Almost Famous. I felt so just felt amazing.
It was a couple years ago where I dressed up as Scarecrow from Batman Begins.
I had a Renaissance one where that was really nice with the big long sleeves and the mask.
When I was a very teeny little kid, I wore this lion costume. I don't know why it was my favorite because it was a poorly sewn costume, but it's one of my favorite costumes for some reason. Maybe because it was a nice memory.
The Little Mermaid. Yeah, I have her on my wrist. She's my woman. I love her.
Last year, I dressed in a morph suit and just didn't talk at all. I was so method for Halloween. In a giant blue morph suit, and I just walked around not talking and just touching people and creeping people out.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, so I had a guitar.
Last year, I was a pink lady from Greece, and I was pretty excited about that costume because I love Greece.
I was a pretty cool werewolf. Yeah. I had the fangs. So I wore it a few years in a row, actually. It was so cool.
I was a sumo wrestler in 4th grade. I have to say it was pretty lit.
When I was little, I did a peas in a pot, slayed that.
I was really little. I was Minnie Mouse. And I actually won a costume competition at our local, athletic club, I think it was.
I was a Ninja Turtle last year, and I felt pretty powerful. I was really excited.
I was Roxy from Chicago one year, which was really nice because I love Chicago. Maybe this year I'll be Willy Wonka, the original. That would be nice. And I would walk around with the cane and do that little forward roll that he does, when they knock, I would just do that.